Hi, Kevin. My name is Alyssa. Obviously, you know that, just in case you forgot. I'm going to read you your chart. Now, first, I got to make sure that I got the right stuff down. So I'm going to look at your chart. It's really fun and awkward like this. You're born February 23rd, 1983, 1:18 a.m. in Visalia, California. Sorry if I butchered that. I don't know what to say about that. You have a Sagittarius ascendant, Sun in Pisces, and Moon in Cancer. And I'm just going to tell you about yourself then, because you had no other requests. And I'm going to start off with your Uranus on your ascendant. That is so much fun. You have Uranus conjunct Jupiter on your ascendant, and your ascendant's in Sagittarius. This is like, you have a personality. You're funny. Oh my gosh, you could be like a stand-up comedian. Comedian. I said comedian the second time. Okay, stand-up comedian. You're just really funny. Okay, because Uranus on the ascendant, it like flip-flops your ascendant, makes it all weird. Sagittarius ascendant is already like, full of information, gathering facts and spewing them into the world. Jupiter conjunct, that just means you have a bigger personality. And so all of that together just comes out, and you're larger than life. You're funny, you're interesting, you're quirky. Sometimes you're rebellious for rebellion's sake. Having then your Uranus conjunct Jupiter, it trines your Venus conjunct Mars. Now your Venus is in Aries and your Mars is in Pisces. So they're conjunct each other, so they're like the same. You have a Marnus. You don't have a Mars and a Venus. I have a Marnus too. So Mars and Venus conjunct equals Marnus, Pisces, Aries. Your Venus wants to go all Aries on people, and your Mars wants to Pisces on people. So on the fourth house, what that means to me is that you're loving, you're giving, you can be impulsive, but you also you swim in a deep sea of emotions in the fourth house of home in this Pisces area. So you're kind of a huge contradiction, which is just actually, in the sense of your chart, more to love. You have a hold on your anger because it's of such a late degree of Mars. You may not have an ability to hold on to your love because it's in Aries at 0 degrees, and it just kind of wants to like, hey, like, I just met you and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. That's not that crazy. You might do crazier things. And I think people like it because you're just so interesting. You're like really interesting. This is like a very interesting chart. You have a very interesting chart. Now, your moon is square Venus, and your moon's in the 8th house. So I'm going to go and say that your mother did a lot of stuff for you, like maybe, cleaned you up, made you dinner. You didn't have to worry about all that stuff, but she was maybe a little bit off in some way. But because of that, she took you into the depths of something, and you are deeply introspective because of your relationship with your mother. And I don't want to go too much into it because it's only 10 minutes, and I could go on crazy, and really the mother stuff is something that you have to connect with me in person about. So I don't even know why I brought that all up, but because of that, though, it just makes you very deep and introspective, and maybe not always like yourself, because moon is square Venus. You might actually be very angry with yourself. You don't feel as confident as you want to be all the time. It's something that you definitely have to make up for yourself. Now, your sun then is in the 3rd house, and it's trining Pluto and Saturn, and that's trining moon, and moon is trining the sun. So you have a really pretty grand trine. It's not pretty. Why am I saying pretty to you? You're a guy. It's really cool. So this means you're very intuitive, highly intuitive. Basically, really, it's really psychic. And you have even though you can get really mad at yourself and have a deep insecurity, you also have this internal confidence, and that internal confidence is what drives you. So how can you be insecure and confident at the same time? Well, I told you you're a contradiction. You speak and everything makes sense. You're this Pisces with this Cancer, and you have a Scorpio Saturn, so you have the ability to create stability. You have the ability to run your own life, and on occasion you also have the ability to stuff your emotions when you don't feel like they make sense to you, and you're proud of that about you. You're proud of your ability to stay grounded even in the midst of chaos. Now look over this. Okay, so the reason why that this creates a psychic thing is because you don't know that this is happening. You don't know that your emotions and your mind flow and that that's different than somebody else. They just do. You want to speak something because your sun's in the 3rd house, you can just go right ahead and say it. And because your Mercury's in Aquarius, when you do say it, it is channeled through a very intelligent, logical way, and you don't come off as Pisces or emotional at all. Basically, you're a very emotional person, you're a very deep person, but you have a really good handle on them. And that's something that is a psychic ability, which doesn't necessarily totally make sense, I don't think, but it just is like your own ability to go deep inside of you, figure everything out, and articulate anything you want to in a completely detached, unemotional way, which makes you, another thing that can make you a great stand-up comedian. Has anyone told you that? Are you going to be like, listen, I'm not even funny. Don't tell me that I'm funny. You suck at your job. Because this is what I'm just seeing. I wish I could see you, because I just feel like I have to see you. Anyway, not that your face would be funny. But, yeah. And I'll also just, Uranus on your ascendant, this could mean that you're really tall or really short. Just kind of like abnormal. Something, you could be like abnormally freckly too, I don't know, I should go Google you and find your picture and look at it and be like, just kidding, I'm not gonna do that, maybe. Yeah, so back to you and your lovely chart. The Sun square ascendant, square Uranus thing, this means that your difficulties lie in this, of what people see in you. And because you have all these trines and you have this really nice kite, it makes me think that it's almost like a weird upset that might make you mad, but you could just have a really good handle on it, that you are not what you seem. You are a Pisces, like I said, just really good, really deep. Really deep, like a chasm, but people might think that you're shallow or maybe even dumb because you just say the weirdest stuff all the time, or you just have this larger than life personality. Maybe people think, oh, you're so extroverted. In reality, you're just like this crazy introvert. So you could have issues with that. That's the biggest thing I see with your Sun square ascendant. You're not what you seem. You're an iceberg. That's it. But your iceberg on the top of the water is like colored in these really weird psychedelic colors, so you're like the weirdest iceberg anybody's ever seen, and they're like, oh, I'll just dismiss you as the weirdest iceberg anybody's ever seen. And really, if they went and dove under the water, they would see so much more that maybe wouldn't even be as weird, and they might find that it's actually fucking highly intelligent, deep, and charming. Yeah. Now your Mercury square Saturn, and your Saturn's retrograde in the 11th house, which could mean you have issues with your father, but because it's trine your sun and your moon's trine your sun, means that you actually probably had a really good relationship with your parents. Keep going into your parents' things. I think what this is that you love your authority figures, but they didn't give you everything you needed to survive. You had to make that up for yourself. And that's really here what I'm seeing too, is that you've built yourself up in spite of anything around you, in spite of what people were given to you. And you've made something of yourself already. And you'll only keep making more of yourself because you know what you have to do to succeed. And you're very... And if people aren't always the most accepting of you, you're very accepting of other people. Because you know what makes people tick. Anyway, that is your chart, Keven. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't think I was mean enough, though. I think it was too nice. Next time. You're a dick. Just kidding. Goodbye.